started. I think you've probably seen the release that Sergeant Scarborough put out from the City of Troy Police Department on Saturday evening. They were notified of a second incident, second assault that occurred in Hunters Mountain on the previous Monday. I think it was the 26th of March. And of course, once they got their information, they did notify the university because it does have an impact on the initial incident that occurred. And then on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, somewhere around about 1:20 in the morning, we had an armed robbery that occurred here on campus on University Avenue over in the general vicinity of the Mass Science Building. So with the fact that we're dealing right now with two sexual assaults, even though they were off campus, one does involve a student, one involves a former student, and the fact that we have a robbery that occurred on campus, we're trying to get as much information out. We're trying to help allay some fears, dispel some rumors. There are a number of rumors that are circulating through the social media right now. We're trying to get that information out, through the media, through a town hall meeting this afternoon that our Student Government Association has set up. We have representatives both from the university as well as from the City Police Department that will be there this afternoon at the town hall meeting to answer questions, but also discuss what's going on to this point. So that's kind of why we're here today, and we'd be glad to answer the questions that y'all may have.
What are some of the things that you're doing to increase safety on campus?
Well, I think, and I'll let Chief McCall talk a little bit about it too, as far as on-campus safety, we are increasing the number of people that we have out and about after dark on our patrols. We're also trying to partner with the city. The city has increased their patrols in areas that their populations where students live or young people live, and we're supplementing that by assisting them in trying to have some spillover in those areas where we have more patrols in the areas on a regular time. University officers in areas where city officers patrol, and city officers in the areas where university officers patrol, so there's some overlap of people in those areas. There are some areas where Chief Ennis and them have assigned a person or assigned a unit to be there. So with those things, those are some of the things we're doing. Chief McCall, you want to add to that?
Well, one of the things we're doing, we're trying to get our folks out of the office and onto the street. So we're taking some of the guys who normally work the office and putting them in uniforms and putting them on the street, so that we got a few extras out on campus and that we're being visible and being seen. And that's just one of the other things that we're doing.
Chief, can you tell us a little bit more about the robbery that happened?
Well, basically, it was Saturday night or Sunday morning, about 1:30 in the morning. We had a student who was walking down University Drive when he was approached by a subject who basically just pointed a gun at him and told me to give me everything you got. And he gave up his property to him, and then the suspect fled on foot. And we do have a vehicle we're looking at, a vehicle of interest that we're looking for right now. And hopefully when we find that vehicle, it'll give us some insight as to who our suspects possibly were.
So no description or exact description of who you guys are looking for in the...
As far as the person?
Yeah.
Right now we are told that it was a black male. He did have a scarf over his face, but our victim says he thinks he can identify him even with the scarf over his face. So it's a black male, about 6 foot tall and about 170 pounds, and that's where we're at right now. And he did have a hoodie over his head.
But you are offering a $5,000 reward for the sexual assault cases, correct?
We have supplemented, the university supplemented, the city's got 5,000 out there, and the university has 5,000 out there right now. So at this point in time, there's a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible for sexual assaults. Yes.
If anyone knows anything about the armed robbery, do they call your station?
They can call the University Police Station 670-3215 and give us any information they have. We would be more than willing to talk to them about this case.
And how, there's a lot of fear out there, and again, not just with safety precautions, but what can you tell students to just do to be safe?
I think we're going to say the same things that we've said before. I mean, certainly don't be alone. Don't put yourself in that situation. When you go out, if you're going to be outside, and especially after dark, to make sure you're out in a group or group of people. If you're found to be on campus in a building by yourself and you're going to have to walk by yourself, stay in the building, call the police department, tell them you need an escort. We'll send an officer over there. I think the same has been true, as we've talked with Chief Ennis and folks from the city, that if they have a person that's does not feel safe walking out to a vehicle, to get in a vehicle, they'll send a car over there too. So we will, we'll work through that. But to stay in well-lit areas, travel in groups, let the police know if you need an escort, those type of things. We're going to continue to do those things until such time as hopefully someone will be held responsible for this.
And what's your message, both of you, either or, tonight? For the students, I'm sure you got something to say, and you'll also take questions. But
Well, one of our messages tonight, I think, is certainly to try to dispel some of the rumors that are circulating out there. We have had the 2 sexual assaults, we have had the robbery, but we've heard all kind of different things, and we want to make sure that we get the correct information out there on what we're looking at, because if we can get the correct information out there, maybe people will focus on that. Maybe somebody may remember something, or remember they saw something, and that tidbit of information could be something that could help us. And then certainly the other message we want to send is to continue to be vigilant with your personal safety.
I know that you guys have the really great SOS program. Was this another chance for you guys to kind of utilize that to get information out to students?
We did not use the text messaging because of the timing of the incident. We use that when there's imminent danger, to people from that point forward, or we still have, so we did not, because like I said, it's the initial or the second sexual assault, had occurred 5 days prior to when the police were notified about it.
And what about for the robbery?
We did not use it at that particular point in time because the suspect had fled. We did not have a person here on campus, where we had fled the scene.
So we've had this armed robbery on campus. We've had the 2 sexual assaults off campus in Troy. We had the staff member's house broken into not long ago as well. Is Troy becoming a more dangerous place?
I don't feel like it is. I've been here since May, and this is the first violent crime we've had happen on campus. And I think the numbers speak for themselves. This is the first incident in nearly a year. So I think we're still a very safe campus. I think this crime will be solved. I think we'll catch the guy who did this Saturday night, and we'll be diligent trying to get this solved as quickly as possible. All of our efforts right now are on these 3 cases, and I think the campus itself is a safe place to be. But again, it's just like we tell students at the beginning of the year: don't put yourself in a situation where you could become a victim. We want you to walk together in groups. We want you to be safe, lock your doors when you leave, that kind of thing. So I still think the Troy University is a safe campus, and I think it will continue to be that way.
Do you have an approximate age on the robber the other night?
He said probably early 20s is what he was saying. So,
is there any indication whether or not the perpetrator was a student?
Don't believe he was, but all the options are still open right now.
Has there been a description for the second second sexual assault?
It was basically very similar to the first sexual assault. About 6'1". She doesn't know exactly how big he was necessarily, but a very similar description.
Could it have been the same person who did the earlier assault that day?
Very well could be, yes, sir. And we're looking at it as possibly the same suspect in both crimes, or it could be possibly 2 suspects. We're looking at both angles right now.
And it was 1 student and 1 non-student, correct? In the sexual assault cases, or were they both students?
1 student and 1 former student, I guess you would say. She's not registered in school right now.
Anything else?
As far as the increase in security personnel, is that a reactive or proactive solution that we're suggesting? I mean, is that going to be something permanent? Are we increasing that force, or is that going to be until kind of the sense of fear dies down?
I would say, you know, one of the things to say, it's a little of both. It's proactive in the sense that we're expediting. We were going to add 4 new officers to the campus police department through a program that we've implemented with the criminal justice department. We're going to speed that process up to get those additional officers out there. It's a little bit, from a standpoint of being a little bit reactive to the situation, because we've got a heightened sense of security, and when you have a heightened sense of security, you know, we need to put some resources out there, so we're putting some additional resources out there. But in the long run, there will be more public safety personnel that will remain out on the campus over a period of over the long haul.